Hi, I'm Dee Dee, and Randy is not here this week, and I am here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center on Rosemont Avenue with some adoptable pets for you. And don't tell Randy, but I picked all the easy ones, so I could talk to you and hold them at the same time and make it look easy. This is Titus, and the reason that Titus is here today is to remind you that this is the time of year that we have kittens. A lot of people think that kittens are born in the spring, and they would be right. However, they have to grow up before they can be spayed or neutered and leave their moms and go to your home. So he has an itchy ear, so I'm helping him out with that. Kittens that come to the animal shelter get spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated. We give you a coupon for a rabies shot at the Frederick vet of your choice. And we make it pretty easy to get a kitten. If you were to find a kitten, we absolutely encourage you to take them in, and we can give you information about low-cost spay and neuter. But if you are willing to get a cat from the shelter, you will get a lot of your first vet visits taken care of by us, by your tax dollars. So it makes it a little financially easier to get a kitten from the shelter than start one out yourself from scratch. But of course, we do encourage you, if you find a kitten and want to keep it, to call us, and we'll tell you what you need to do. Titus is one of our foster program kittens, of which we have many. And as I always say, we have about 60 foster families, and they help make him biscuits. And they help us to grow up the kittens for you so that they can go with you in the fall. So if you're interested in a kitten, now's the time. Our next guest is Cleo. And Cleo is a 2 to 3 year old female cat that was found with her many kittens, and her kittens have gone through the foster program just like Titus, and now she's ready to be adopted. They're all adopted, and now it's her chance to get a home. She is, as you can see, a beautiful white and gray cat, and when I went to get her in her cage, she jumped right down from her hammock, came right over to my side, and was very happy to get in her carrier. But she is not thrilled about sitting still on my lap, so she's doing the best she can. That doesn't mean she's not a lap cat like Titus. It does mean that she does not know me at all. So it's pretty hard for the cats to be on TV, and that's why we usually have Randy. So this whole show is not going to be about how much Randy should be here, but Cleo is looking for a family where she can you know, be out and about and active. On here it says that she lived with another cat before she went into our foster care program, and chances are that that cat was the father of her kittens, and that they were able to keep that cat and were not able to get her spayed, which we will do for you, as well as microchip her and vaccinate her and deworm her and treat her for parasites. So if you think that this beautiful cat would make a good addition to your family, please let us know. And if you're not in the position to adopt right now, then always consider going on petfinder.com and posting their picture at work or sharing it on your social networking, because we are the only shelter in Frederick County, but I'm often surprised by how many people don't know we're here. And those that do know we're here, many of them don't know that we offer adoptions. They know it's the Animal Control Center, but they think that only the stray animals are here. So animals that are given up make up half of our population, and those animals we make available just as soon as we know that they're ready to be pets, so they don't even have to stay in the shelter very long. So I encourage you, if you're looking for a pet, to come to the shelter first. Our next guest is Smores, and Smores is also a female cat. She is only 5 months old, and she came to us as a stray. So we don't know very much about her, but she was tiny when she came here, and she's quite beautiful. So we will, of course, like all of our cats, spay her and get her ready for her new home with a microchip and vaccinations and a vet checkup and deworming, all kinds of things. So she is one of our orange kitties, and we color code, not that she's physically orange, although she does have cream colored markings. We color code all of our cats in blue, orange, or green. And we put index cards with their name on it on their cage so that you can tell what we know about them. So we share any profile that a previous owner gave us. She does not have one of those because she came to us as a stray. And then we share any medical things that we do to them while they're here. Dr. Thomas and Lauren write everything down for you, so you'll be able to share that with your vet. But then we go further and we make a notation if they, like she's purring right now, if they like to be physically handled, if they're comfortable going in and out of a carrier, if clipping their nails is something that they passively accept, then we color code them blue. And that means that they're possibly going to make a good pet for a busy family because they take things in stride. And then we color code the kittens that are a little shy, or that when you try to trim their nails, they put up a fuss. And we color code those green, and then orange is in the middle. So if you want to be able to have a cat that will snuggle with you, like this little girl, and will also not be too sad when you're away at work all day, then you're going to want to get an orange one, which she is. So it's a little bit helpful to you to come in and when you're overwhelmed by all the animals that we have, because this time of year we have over 150 animals in the shelter. And that does not include the kittens that are in foster care. So when you come in and you know that you want a pet, it can be a little overwhelming. Which one should you pick? So those are the things to look at. The profile, what the previous owner said, look at the age, of course, and the personality. But then we further help you with the color coding. And of course, nothing at this age, she's only 4 months old or 5 months old, is carved in stone. She could be anything she wants to be, and you can raise her to be as active and comfortable as you choose through a process that everyone refers to as socialization, but no one really knows what that means when they say it. What it means is that now is the time for her to have lots of experiences like this, going to the vet, looking at bright lights, having a leash, trying out a collar, and then that way as she gets older, they're all things that she's seen before and all things that she's comfortable with. Something people don't think of doing for inside cats because it just doesn't come up, is to show her things like an umbrella opening slowly at a distance. She'll be curious about that, and if you make it safe for her, then you'll encourage her to try new things and approach new things. If she's never seen an umbrella before and she's 8 years old and sitting in your living room and a guest comes over and pops open an umbrella, it can be pretty frightening for a cat to see something suddenly go from small to gigantic, even though it's not alive. So you want to make sure that while she's little, she has a chance to find out there's a lot of surprising things in the world and that most of them are pretty safe for her. We are back with Misty. Misty is another female cat. She's about a year old, and I want to make sure you can see her. Although she looks like she's solid gray, she actually has very fine stripes in her coat and beautiful white markings. She has really soft plush fur as well. And the reason I brought Misty in her little bed is because when I went back there, one of our caretakers, Ruth, told me that she's pretty scared to be taken out of the cage. And one of the things that people ask us all the time when they come to the shelter is, oh, isn't it sad working here because they have to be in cages, and doesn't that break your heart? It would if they were little children, because humans don't like to be in small enclosed spaces as a rule. Most people have a little bit of claustrophobia, feel a little uncomfortable in elevators, and don't necessarily want to go caving. But cats behaviorally are what behaviors call thigmotactic. And what that means is they prefer to have their body up against something. They prefer to be under something. And why would that be? Why would they be like that? And that is because other larger animals eat cats. So they prefer and feel safer if no one can sneak up behind them and no one can swoop down above them. So it's comforting for them to have at least 4 sides covered, preferably 5 of a cube. So while there are wild cats that don't want to be caged because they're afraid of people, cats that are in a new situation or uncomfortable will naturally go under a chair, behind a sofa, or do something so that they can feel secure and look out from walls and ceilings. So Ruth had given her this bed this morning because even though she's in a cage that does have 5 sides covered, the front is open and she was a little nervous. So Ruth gave her this plush cube so that she could hunker down in that until she feels comfortable. Now, she lets me pick her up. She's purring right now. She's perfectly happy to be handled by people, but she does want to be surrounded while we, bring her into this new place. Bright lights, noises, people she doesn't know, going in rooms where, as we travel through the hallways with cats, they can smell that other animals have traveled through these rooms. They're probably very capable of telling when they were here, how many were here, what kind of animals were here, but it's still a lot of information to process at once. So whenever you're taking a cat from the cage where they're fed, where they sleep, where they're groomed, where volunteers snuggle with them, into a new room, they're thinking, they're worried. So anything that we can do to comfort them while they're here, we're happy to do it as long as we can think of it. And with our caretakers, they're pretty dedicated to all of these cats and dogs, and they are pretty in tune with what they like and don't like. And because of generous donations of beds, towels, blankets, we are able to give them pretty much whatever they need to feel more comfortable until they settle in. So this little kitty is ready to go to her new home. As I said, she's only a year old, so she's almost a kitten herself. If you think that she would make a nice companion for you or someone that you know, come to 1832 Rosemont Avenue and meet her. Our next guest is Steffi. And Steffi is a beautiful calico female kitten. All of our cat guests today have been females. And she is purring and she was happy to come out. And she is also color-coded orange. She is not interested in just staying here on my lap, though she would like to walk around the room and see what else we have for her to do. Steffi is here for a sad reason. Her family recently became homeless. And when I'm working at the admissions desk of the shelter, yes, it's true that there's some animals, one that you're going to meet in a little while named Trigger, whose family lose interest in them and bring them here because they're just not making the choice to do what they need to do to keep their dog. But most of the people who come are like Steffi's family, and they love their pet very much, but they're in a situation where they can't take good care of themselves right now, so they have to find someone to help them out with their pets. And that is what you do through the tax support that the Frederick County Animal Shelter gets. And Steffi will now be spayed and vaccinated, and she is available for a new home, and I hope that she finds one soon, because this time of year the shelter is pretty full with cats, and we definitely want to get them placed as soon as possible, because especially for the young ones like her, if she's still here in the spring, right now she's a year to a year and a half old, very kittenish, energetic, young, ready to bond with people. In the spring, she's going to be closer to 2. And that does make a difference in people thinking whether to adopt or not. Most people who want a mature cat are going to go for 5 or older, and people who want a kitten are going to go for 2 or younger. So if you think that you can get Steffi before winter sets in, then that would be a great thing for her. So we are going to be right back after a short break with some adoptable dogs at Frederick County Animal Control. And hopefully, if you haven't seen a pet that meets your needs in today's segment, you will watch next week, or check on the internet or YouTube for previous episodes, or let us know what kind of pet you're looking for. If it is a purebred pet, we will keep you on a wish list and call you when we get one. We'll be right back. I hope you join us.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Oh, man.
If you're concerned that there is a party taking place where there's underage drinking or drugs being used, or that you've heard that a party is going to take place, there's a tip line that you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's 301-600-1318.
This is Indy, and Indy is a 10 to 12-month-old Cocker Spaniel Poodle mix. And a lot of people like Cockapoos because they have silky and curly hair. And while all dogs shed, no matter what anyone tells you, there's no such thing as a hypoallergenic dog, because even dogs that have no hair at all have skin cells, and skin cells are what people who are allergic are sensitive to. So because the skin cells adhere to the hair, it is true that a dog that sheds a lot and has hair that blows around the room in forced air ducts can be more irritating to people that are allergic. That's one of the reasons that people like to choose a dog, how about we face this way, that is curly haired or wavy haired. And the reason for that is that if the hair is tightly curled enough, you have to brush them to get the hair out. So it's less likely to be around your house. And the silky hair, the hair tends to fall out and ball up in little dust bunnies, which are easy to sweep or vacuum up. So people like Cockapoos because if you were slightly allergic to dogs, you might be able to handle a Cockapoo. Another reason that people like them is because you can take them to the groomer every month or so and have them look completely different. He can have a clean shaven face with long skirt, feathers, and ears, or he can be cut short all over and look like a puppy once again, or he can have a lion cut with a big mane. Anyway, groomers have a lot of fun with it, and dog owners have a lot of fun with it. So it's one of the attractivenesses of dogs that have hair that continues to grow long and can be groomed. One of the downsides of that is you certainly do have to work that into your budget and your schedule, taking the dog to the groomer, or you could learn to do it yourself. It's not that hard. And with a cooperative dog, and you obviously have to get them used to the sound of the clippers. He's already been groomed, so he's experienced that. But you want to be patient if you're new to it. It'll probably take you about 30 to 45 minutes to do a complete grooming job the first time. So what you want to do is to do it in bursts, you know, like do it for 10 minutes and then let him take a break and go for a walk and then do it again. Yeah, good boy. So he really likes to be scratched. So if you are looking for a pet who is more of a lap dog and wants to be with people and likes to be handled, then maybe Indy is your guy. Our next guest is Tiffany, and Tiffany is some kind of bully breed and terrier mix, and she is also only 10 to 12 months old, and she and Indy are a perfect example of sometimes people believe that puppies are just inherently hyper, and that is not the case. Both of these dogs can engage with people and pay attention and walk on a leash, but as you see, they don't know very much. They don't know what people's intentions are when they reach their hands out. They're not sure if it's for petting or to hold on to their collar or put a leash on. And that's all stuff that helps puppies get more confident and react to what we do. I don't know for any of you that have dogs, if you have dogs that the minute you put on a certain kind of shoe, they act a different way. They're very observant of what we do. The thing is, when you adopt a puppy, they don't have any of that information. So they have to get that. And the best way for them to get that, I'm sure you've heard people say, is through our consistency. Is if every time you're going to take your dog for a walk, you sit in a chair and put on sneakers and get the leash, they'll learn all that and act appropriately. If you don't give them lots of clues to what you're going to do, then of course they will seem confused all the time and not know exactly what's happening, which I'm sure is what's happening to Tiffany right now. I will bet she has never been filmed with a TV camera before. And I think it's probably true that she's not lived in a shelter for a couple weeks before. So all she wants to do is smell every dog who's touched every one of these toys, every animal who's been in this room, and she really wants to go see the cameraman, Richard, because he's in here, but he's acting like he's not in here, which to a puppy doesn't really make a lot of sense. So if you have a landlord that's okay with bully breed and terrier mixes, or if you own your own home and are interested in helping a puppy out, then please consider coming by and meeting this beautiful little blue and fawn terrier mix with her little thumbprint mark on her head. Yes, she is, as you probably can see, getting medicine for an ear infection right now, and that is expected to clear up on its with its medication and be just fine. So if you are interested in meeting her, don't let that stop you. Yes, you're a good girl. You are a good girl. Trigger is a 4-year-old male brindle hound dog mix. He was originally acquired at a flea market in Alabama by a family whose daughter has gone away to college and no longer is interested in taking care of Trigger, and her parents are not able to do so either. So Trigger is the perfect dog. He's 4, he's already been with a family, he sits when you ask him to, he's not low energy at all, he's just calm and polite, has a lot of energy when you take him out on a walk. He might be part greyhound. He is a lovely dog in the kennel, doesn't bark at the other dogs going by, which many of them don't, but some do, and you would imagine that that's pretty exciting for them to see a string of dogs going past their window. So Trigger is just a lovely dog, and I talked about him a little bit in the first segment when I said that although most people who come to the shelter are giving up their pets because we are their last resort and they have no other choice, they have no place to go, they've lost jobs, they've lost family members. Sometimes pet owners pass away and family members aren't able to take their pets into their home. But Trigger is an example of someone who, when they saw him at the flea market, he was so cute and a baby, and a little girl wanted him, so they brought him home. But kids grow up and move away. So if the dog is not for you, then think about having your kids wait until they're adults and have households of their own to get a dog if they want a dog. Or you can do as my mother did, and she had me tend a garden for an entire summer so that I would be able to show I wouldn't lose interest and could keep up the level of care that a dog takes. Trigger's a wonderful dog and very deserving of a new home, and I think he's going to find one pretty easily. So if you think that he might be a good match for you or someone that you know, then please let us know here at the shelter or pass his picture around or this video and make sure that people know we get all kinds of terrific family pets at the shelter. Often people think that they might not be able to get a purebred dog if they want that. 1 in 4 of our dogs is purebred. And they might think that they can't get a trained dog, and they might think that they can't get a puppy. We get about 300 puppies every year, so all of those things are available at your animal shelter. It does not mean that other sources of pets aren't wonderful, but one thing not to do is don't do the impulse buy at the flea market, because this is what happens to those dogs. They're very cute when they're babies and somebody really wants them in that moment, but when you come home to day-to-day life and it drags on for 10, 12 years, which well it should, people aren't always prepared for that long of a commitment. Hey Trigger, how about you look at the camera? Yeah, because you're beautiful and people want to see you. This is Daisy. And Daisy is an 8-year-old gorgeous bloodhound, and she is available for adoption. When we first got her, of course, we were a little concerned because the story was that she lived in a barn for 8 years, no one did anything with her, and they didn't want to, and here she is. She is so good. So she really likes people. For a bloodhound, she doesn't pull on the leash too much. If she wants to smell something, of course she will. And there goes the whole wall. And she loves to be handled. She permits all kinds of handling. And she's going to be a really great dog. And as I was saying with Trigger, think about, you know, bloodhounds are pretty long-lived. So if she's going to live to be 13, 14 years old, then you are making a 6 to 8 year commitment to take her home. So it's not as hard as if, I don't want her to be too tight on there, that it's not as hard as if you're taking home a puppy and you don't know where you're going to be in 15 years. So sometimes people are reluctant to get older dogs because of that. But I would say because of what happened to Trigger, had a great home for 4 years, but that's all that they would give him, that Daisy is a perfect fit for that situation. When you don't know where you're going to be, or your kids are going to grow up and go away to school, then you definitely need to think about that. Think about the age of the dog that you're getting. And getting an adult dog who already likes people and already knows how to interact appropriately is really a bonus, because when you get a puppy, they're very cute, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to be suspicious adults or fearful adults. And with Daisy, we can say, that's not going to happen. Our last guest is Chachi, and Chachi is probably Australian Shepherd. She has a half tail that she was born with, and she is about 1.5 years old. She was born on July 17th of 2012. If that's a special date for you, maybe that will tug at your heartstrings. And Chachi came from a family that has another dog and a brand new baby, and they're moving. So they didn't feel like they could take care of everything that they had going on. And they brought Chachi in to see if we can find her a new home, which I really think we can, because she is low-key energy, wags her tail almost all the time, is very interested in approaching new people, and not too driven by toys, not too overexcited by food. So I actually think her mellow attitude is going to make her a really great family pet, even for a really busy family doing lots of stuff. As you can see, rather than pull on the leash and get frustrated with the situation, she just takes a seat, leans on me. She is very amenable to being handled by strangers, because while there are 7 animal care technicians that take care of our dogs every day and several volunteers, I do not meet all of the dogs every day. So for them to come with me to a strange room on a strange leash and have a strange camera look at them really does bring out what their fears might be, concerns might be, and Chachi's handling it all. She's a very good girl and is going to make someone a really great pet. So if you have seen a pet today that you might think would make a good match for you or someone you know, please let us know at 1832 Rosemont, or call in at 301-600-1546, or go on petfinder.com and share a profile of an animal that you like electronically, or print it out and post it somewhere new that may not even know about Frederick's Only Animal Shelter. And you will really make a difference by doing that. We don't have an advertising budget. Obviously, all of these services, the Frederick News Post donates space to us every Sunday. We have a lot of supporters in the community that help us get the word out, but every little bit you do really helps us. Hopefully you will find a match sometime soon, or help one of these guys find a match. I hope you join us next time on Pet Pals. It is really great to be able to have this venue for the pets to be seen by anybody, even from home.